Hey guys, this is Simon here, and this is gonna be my first ever video, Coldplay album tier list. And let me tell you, my opinion is definitely not the popular opinion. My opinion will most likely differ from yours, so slight trigger warning to begin with. Okay, their debut album, Parachutes. Parachutes has a lot of great songs on it. Yellow, probably one of their most famous songs. They have my personal favorite song from Parachutes is definitely Shiver. Um, they have a lot of acoustic rock in their first album, and I feel like it was really popular for a reason. I think I'll have to give it a probably a B tier. It's really good. It's just like it was the first album. It was very experimental with finding their sound, and I feel like they really did a great job at finding their sound. And their next album, Rush of Blood to the Head, well, it was a very big leap forward. They kind of stepped away from the acoustic part of their first album. They got more like heavy rock sounds in it, more emotional themes, and part of that is because this album was made this album.
As no, I promise, like, and even it's been a weird these past few months, and knowing out
Was made in response to 9/11, the terrorist attacks. So there's a lot of moody themes in it of just despair, and it's a really well produced album. The problem I have with it is when people say they love A Rush of Blood to the Head, they say they love the first half of it because that includes Politic, God Put a Smile Upon Your Face, The Scientist Clocks, all the most famous songs from the album. Nobody remembers the second half, like Amsterdam, Green Eyes, Warning Sign. I feel like people just they put all the best songs at the very beginning, and it kind of ruins the pacing of it. And for that, I think I'll have to give it a B tier as well. But I think it's better than Parachutes, so I'll put it above Parachutes. Okay, their third album, X and Y. Not gonna lie, this might be my least favorite album. Now, I don't think there's a single-handedly I don't think there's a bad Coldplay album, but I think there are just weaker ones, and this is one of the weaker ones. Now, of course, it includes the song Fix You, which is probably a top 5 Coldplay song for almost any fan. And I have one of my personal. It's not my favorite song on the album. My favorite one is "Till Kingdom Come."
Pause, bro. Oh my gosh. I gotta edit that out, man!
It's a great closer. It's a very Americano. I think I'll have to give it C tier. I don't think there's gonna be any D tiers because, like I said, there's not a bad Coldplay album. There's just better and worse ones. Okay, now, Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends.
I mean, it's alright, like, overrated as fuck.
This album contains probably the most popular Coldplay song, Viva La Vida. And I think this is the song Viva La Vida is what got me into Coldplay. And so this album holds a special place in my heart. Looking at it from an objective point of view, I don't really like the album that much. There are 2 songs in it that I like, Viva La Vida and Violet Hill. So it's weird for me to say this considering how much I love the album. I'm gonna have to give it a low B tier. I love the song, like some of the songs in it, but it's just overall it's mid in my opinion. Now on to Milo Xyloto. Now this album, for me, it's kind of messy, but I kind of like that. So it has a good variety of sounds in it. So you got songs like Every Teardrop is a Waterfall, very like a pop anthem. Same with Paradise, where it's like a pop rock, sort of like really strong. Everybody knows these songs. But then you got stuff like Us Against the World and UFO. They're really small, really innocent. You feel vulnerable listening to it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And I think this album is when Coldplay really hit their sound. They knew what they were doing. And for that, I'm gonna have to give it an A tier. I don't think it's quite S tier, but I do think it's better than everything else I've talked about. Okay, Ghost Stories. This album was heavily impacted because this was the album made directly after Chris Martin broke up with Gwyneth Paltrow. They broke up. And for that, this song has a lot of moody themes, very sad, except for the one upbeat song, Sky Full of Stars, which I'm gonna be honest, it does not fit in the album. Like every other song in this album is just so sad and moody. I really don't understand why they put Sky Full of Stars in this album. It would have worked perfectly for Head Full of Dreams if they just held it off for that album, honestly. But overall, I don't find myself listening to this album that much, and it's just you have to be in the mood to enjoy it. So for that, I'm putting it C tier as well. I think it's slightly better than X and Y, so I'm gonna put it above X and Y, but I don't think it's incredible by any means. Now, A Head Full of Dreams, like Viva La Vida, it holds a special place in my heart because this was the first album that I listened to like from beginning to end on repeat. Like I love this album so much, and sort of like it has a similar sound to Milo Xyloto. And considering where I put Milo Xyloto, I think you'll kind of get a good guess of where I'm putting this album. It's going in the A tier. It's really good. I think it's better than Milo Xyloto, but not by much. I think the main reason is for two songs. Everglow, which is my personal favorite like piano solo song of all time, not just Coldplay, but like piano solo song. Everglow is my favorite of all time, and also Up and Up. It's my personal all-time favorite album closer, except for one, which I will get to in a later album. Um, Up and Up is just it really wraps around the idea of a head full of dreams. It really closes the album in a really cohesive way. Okay, on to Everyday Life. Now, this album was a big step in a different direction than what Coldplay's been doing, and it's not a bad direction, it's just a different direction. And they got really real with this album. Like, they had ideas of poverty and, like, poor, and it has some really interesting themes going on. In my opinion, this is the most well-produced album. It's not my favorite one by any means, but it's really well-produced. I think that it is personally, it's one of my favorites just because the direction they took. And with songs like Daddy
My yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
and songs like Guns and Orphans, you just get these themes that they've never done before. And it's really interesting the way they pulled it off. And the way they promoted it with going to Jordan and playing it live, and that's the only time they ever played it live. It's just really interesting the way they promoted this album. And one of my all-time favorite songs, "Champion of the World," is in this album, and I think it's a A tier. I think it's really good. I just think I think Heavenly Dreams, Milo is just they've done better, and I think part of that is just because the theme of the album and just the direction they took. Okay. If you haven't gotten triggered yet, this is where you will definitely get triggered. I will explain it immediately. This is S tier. I love it so much. It was the first CD I ever got from Coldplay, the Music of the Spheres CD. It holds a special place in my heart. Starting, I will admit, the opening track, Higher Power, it's a solid, fine song. No, it's not amazing, not bad. But the later you get into the album, like Humankind, I think what personally should have been the opener to the album, but it's whatever. You got songs like Let Somebody Go with Selena Gomez. Oh yeah. And this album has so many guest appearances on it with Selena Gomez, Jacob Collier, and BTS. This was the most, I would say, probably commercially like promoted album. Like you'd see this all over when it first came out. And I think this is the album that really split fans. Like, should I keep listening to Coldplay because they're probably going to get better? Or are they just trash and should I give up on them? Or you just love them for what they are and you don't care what other people think. That's where I am. And I think this album has my all-time favorite song to play on piano, Coloratura. The 10-minute piano ballad. It is amazing. It is the best Coldplay album closer ever. It's the best album closer in my opinion. It is
Help her now. We don't teach these kids to fight with anger. That's not the Miyagi way.
incredible. I think it's really with what they did in this album, it was incredible. I will say the highs were high, but the lows were low. Now, in my opinion, subjectively, I like the song Beautiful. From an objective standpoint, It's trash. It is terrible. Why does it exist? I do not know, but it does, and I appreciate it. I really like it. No, but the problem is I hate to listen to it because if you've listened to it, you know what I mean. Anyways, Moon Music, their newest album, and in my opinion, I think this will be the last like it's not gonna be the last Coldplay album, but it's gonna be the last like traditional like pop Coldplay album because Coldplay's announced on TV like they're gonna make a musical next, and then their last album will be similar to Parachutes. And they said that's what they said. So Moon Music, there are some really great songs. Again with like Music of the Spheres, they had a lot of like other people on it. They had Ira Star. It was kind of her big, I think one of her bigger songs that she's ever like performed with. They had Eliana, Teeny, Burna Boy, and those were all on the same song, We Pray. And I think We Pray is a sort of Sky Full of Stars and Ghost Story situation where why is it in Moon Music? I think We Pray, like, I think it would have worked better in like everyday life because it's about prayer and like, yeah. So, but overall, I think it's very balanced in like the pacing of it. Like they kind of split up the best songs throughout the album. Like my personal all-time favorite Coldplay song, "I'm a Mountain," in this album, and it's incredible. And I think it could have benefited from having some of the Full Moon Edition songs in it. So from the Full Moon Edition, it had "Man in the Moon." They wanted to put it in the full album, but they didn't have time. I think they should have just released the album later and put "Man in the Moon" in it and replaced it with "Eterna" because "Eterna" I despise. It's a bad song in my opinion, but overall, yeah, it's a good album. Is it as good as Music of the Spheres? I do not know. I do know it's S tier.
Stop the cap.
The way I'm talking about it may not sound like I'm thinking it's S tier, but I think it's really good with Music of the Spheres. I honestly think they're tied. They are both really good, and I'm really excited to see where Coldplay goes in the future. And overall, I did say this would be a trigger warning. I understand putting albums like Music of the Spheres above Rush of Blood and above Parachutes, above Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends. Like that's gonna really tick some people off. But it's my tier list. I don't care about your opinions. I care about my opinions. So suck it. And just please feel free to say like what your personal opinions are in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I have a lot of great things planned for the future, so stay tuned.